Hi, welcome to this week's yin practice. For props for today, I should just having a bolster, a soft block, and maybe one or two hard blocks as well. And we'll get started in Sphinx pose for today. So I would invite you to bring your bolster just near the top of the mat, across the mat, and then you can come to lying down on the belly and maybe ending up with the bolster somewhere across the chest. So depending on how intense a back bend you'd like to begin with, you could have the bolster a little further away, maybe a slightly softer back bend. You could also bring it in a little bit closer. Maybe now it's more underneath the ribs. Find a shape for the arms that feels comfortable here as well. Notice what's happening in the low body, and maybe give the hips a little rock side to side, let them settle. See what feels good for head, neck, shoulders. Find an expression here that supports your back bend. If anything is working that you don't need, maybe you can start to soften that here. Eventually coming to find your stillness in the shape. Doing your best not to fidget, but if you need to reset or change it up, then go for it at any point. Awesome. When you feel ready to, you can gently start to release the bolster out from under you. And slowly lowering the spine down to the floor, you can stack the palms underneath the forehead. Maybe give the hips a gentle rock side to side. You can also slide a knee up to one side, like tree pose, but on the belly. And if that helps you release the hips, the low back. Awesome. And only when you feel ready to, you can bring the hands underneath the shoulders and press yourself up to a tabletop position. And from your tabletop, we'll take a big step forward with the left foot, bring it near the top of the mat, and bring it to the left edge of the mat. So setting up a lizard lunge here so the left toes can point in front or out to the side more, see what feels best. And we're going to set up to twist here. So if you like, you can take the right hand a little wider, maybe the left hand to the left thigh as you turn your chest open. And then options to add a few more things here. One is to bring the right elbow to the floor, see if that deeper twist feels better. And then the other option is to catch the back foot for a quad stretch. So you can do that either from the hand or from the elbow. Sometimes what's a little easier is to bring the hips back in space, bend the back knee, reach to catch it. And even then, it might be a little far away. You might need a strap. And then once you have hold of the foot, see what it feels like to bring the pelvis back forward. So find your expression of the shape. If you need to come out of it or change it at any point, you're welcome to. But once you do find your shape, see if you can find stillness within it. Notice if the breath gets a little bit choppy, maybe there's something that needs to soften a little bit. Otherwise, find your deep breaths here. If you're holding the back foot, you can gently let it go. I'm bringing the left hand down to the floor and then see how you like to exit here. Maybe coming up to a tabletop position. If you want, maybe moving the hip side to side will feel good, or you can do a few rounds of a cat-cow. When you feel ready, we'll come and find child's pose for a few breaths in between sides, just to give the body a moment to reset. Any expression of child's pose, you can use any of your props for support. And when you feel ready, we'll set up the second side so you can come up to a tabletop position and step the right foot to the top right edge of the mat. Find the angle with the foot that feels the most comfortable. And then all the same options here. So go with whatever you did on the first side. You can be on the elbow or the hand, finding your twist as you're ready. If you're finding the quad stretch, then again, maybe hips back in space to help you catch the foot. And then once you have it, hips can come back forward again. Mindful of the left shoulder, that there's not too much pressure there. See if you can find a heaviness through the pelvis and find your pain-free expression, settle into it. when you feel ready, we'll gently release that left foot, lower the right hand down, and then you can make your way up and out of the pose any way you like. And again, see what feels good here. Cat-cow, some snaking of the spine. You can come straight to child's pose if you like, or you could visit down dog even. And coming to your child's pose whenever you feel ready to. Only when you feel ready to walk the hands in towards the knees, come to find a kneeling shape. And then we'll set up for the next pose. So setting up for a variation of hero pose, and I'm going to talk through the reclined version. If you'd like to stay upright here, then you're welcome to do the same. If you're coming with me, I'd suggest setting up your props before you get into it. So you can do the bolster lengthwise down the mat. And then I'm going to take one block to the far end of the bolster just to prop it up a little bit. And then I'll have the other one nearby in case I need to rest my head on it. And then I'm bringing a soft block just in front of the bolster. So you can set up this way or your favorite way. You can also come in and out, experiment a little bit with what you need. And then when you're ready, you can come and just place your bum just in front of the bolster. You can have your knees together and then maybe your feet a little bit wider apart. And straight away check in to see what this feels like. If you're feeling any pain or pinching, then you can back out. You could take a similar shape from the back, maybe taking the feet wide and the knees resting in together. If this feels like plenty and you'd like to stay here, then go for it. You can work on the length in the spine as you breathe into whatever you're feeling here. And if you are coming with me for the reclined version, then again, make sure it feels like a pain-free expression, and you can come down nice and slow, maybe starting with walking the hands a little further back behind you. Maybe there's the option to lower the elbows down. And if you can do all of this without the pelvis lifting up too high, then maybe you can eventually rest the spine down, whether it's on the floor or on your prop. Whatever you're choosing for the neck, make sure it feels comfortable. So if it's hanging, just make sure that that feels okay for you. Arms can come to rest wherever feel comfortable. Now take a scan through the body just to notice, is there anything that could be adjusted to make this stretch a little bit better? Is there anything that needs a little more support? And once you're ready, come and settle in, find your stillness. At any point, if your body lets you know to come out, then listen to it. And before you exit, see if you'd benefit from a little more time in this shape. And when you do feel ready to come out, you can come out exactly as you came in. So slowly bring the elbows underneath you first, then up onto the hands. And then once you come up, see what the easiest way out is. It might be to come up to almost like a tabletop position so you can release the legs. And then see what feels like a good exit. Again, you could come out to a cat-cow or gently snake the spine a little bit. And down dog might feel nice here. You can come and find just a seat, whether it's kneeling or cross-legged. Having some length in the spine will probably feel good here, and we will eventually find a counter stretch and go into a forward bend, but just for now, find something that feels a little bit neutral. And before we set up, if you'd like, you can take a gentle twist each side, maybe for a couple of breaths. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we'll set up for a standing forward bend, so like a dangling shape for the spine. So you can come on up any way that you like. If you need any stretches or anything along the way, then go for it. And what we'll do is we'll start with a generous bend to the knees so that the chest and the belly can be on the thighs. And before we do that, if you'd like to have your hard blocks nearby for the hands, then just have them kind of near the top of your mat. So setting up as you feel ready, bringing the chest and the belly onto the thighs. And then maybe you're choosing to be right here, let the head get really heavy. Another option would be to experiment with having the legs most of the way straight, and you might start in more of a halfway lift shape, and then very gently start to let the head get heavy, and imagine that that's kind of just bringing you into your fold. So this one might have a little bit more of a round through the back body, but that's okay as long as it feels okay in your body. Whatever your expression ends up looking like here. Picture that length from the tailbone all the way down the spine to the crown of the head. Picture a softening there, picture a heaviness. And as long as the body is relatively comfortable in the shape, or at least not in pain or any major discomfort, find the sweetness in the shape. And as you're ready to exit, slowly start to bend the knees a little deeper. You can bring the hands behind you and then lowering the bum all the way down to the floor. And take a moment to stretch out the legs, maybe give the knees a little bit of a tap, maybe a little movement for the shoulders or hips, maybe a counter stretch. You can puff up the chest a little bit, maybe lift the gaze. Awesome. And then as you're ready, we'll come to lie down on the back so you can move your props out of the way. Lowering all the way down as you're ready. And then bring the knees into the chest. You can separate the knees, reach between them to catch the feet for a happy baby. You can also be holding the ankles here or the shins. See if you can keep the low back grounded here no matter where the feet are pointing. Using the weight of the arms to draw the knees a little closer to the floor. If you need a little movement to help you settle in, then go for it. And then come and find your stillness here as you feel ready. Awesome. As you feel ready, gently release the feet down to the floor. For our rest pose today, maybe choosing a reclined butterfly. So you can bring the soles of the feet together, have the knees nice and open. The feet can be close to the pelvis or further away. And if you like to support the knees here, you can bring a hard block underneath each thigh. The hands can be anywhere on the body or beside it. If there's anything you need to adjust, then go for it. And if for any reason the shape isn't working for you, find the shape that would feel the most restful here. And taking your time to quiet down the body and come and find your stillness. Gently deepen the breath. Inviting a little movement back to the body. If you're in butterfly with me, you can reach down and help the knees back together and take the feet a little wider and either resting the knees in together or find a gentle windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you can come back to center and roll down to one side. Take a pause here for a few breaths. And with the support of the hands, as you feel ready, coming up to find any comfortable seated position. And take a moment to settle the hips, to lengthen the spine, and soften anything you don't need. And take a scan through the body just to check in. Bringing your hands together at the heart, bowing the chin in towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin Practice. My name is Nicholas, and if you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.